Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. There's a lot to unpack here. It's a story that might seem small on the surface, but carries significant implications for the Green Bay Packers and their ongoing quest for excellence. Just a week ago, we saw a move that caught many off guard. Brant Banks was promoted from the practice squad to the active roster. A young, undrafted rookie who had been fighting hard to earn his place suddenly found himself on the 53-man roster, ready to step into the spotlight. But in a surprising turn of events, just 7 days later, the Packers decided to part ways with him. Yes, that's right. The team released Banks on Tuesday, and this isn't just a roster management move, it's a statement. It indicates that the Packers are still carefully managing their roster, especially with the injury situation along their offensive line. You see, Banks was signed in the spring after the 2025 draft, an unheralded player coming out of college, trying to carve out his path in the NFL. He competed hard during training camp, trying to impress the coaching staff, but ultimately missed the initial 53-man roster cut. Instead, he was placed on the practice squad, which is often the route for young players to develop without the immediate pressure of game day action. But then, due to injuries, the Packers saw an opportunity. They elevated Banks to the game day roster for Week 2 against Washington, giving him his first shot at the NFL stage. He didn't play a snap in that game, but was on the field for some special teams snaps, 6 in total. Then in Week 4, he was signed outright to the roster, a move that suggested the team saw potential or, at the very least, needed him as an emergency option. However, his usage, or the lack thereof, speaks volumes. In those 2 appearances, Banks didn't log a single offensive snap. He was a backup, primarily a special teams player, which is often the case for rookies who are still learning the NFL game. This limited role indicates that the Packers signed him primarily as injury insurance, a precaution in case their offensive line was hit hard. And quite notably, that's exactly what happened. Heading into that Week 4 game, 3 of their top 7 offensive linemen, including 2 veteran starters, were out due to injuries. The Packers were in a tough spot, and Banks was a part of their contingency plan. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, what does this roster move mean? Well, the Packers haven't made a corresponding move to fill Banks' spot on the roster, which suggests they might be holding out hope that some of their injured players, like Aaron Banks, the starting left guard, as well as their top 2 right tackles, Zach Tom and rookie Anthony Belton, could return soon. And that brings us to some intriguing developments. Head coach Matt Lafleur mentioned on Tuesday that there's a real possibility that wide receiver Christian Watson could come off the PUP list after the bye week. This is a huge potential boost for the offense. Watson has been recovering from that ACL tear he suffered last January, and while he's been on the reserve physically unable to perform list, the team is now considering opening his practice window. This is a significant development for the Packers. Coming into this season, Watson was expected to be a key playmaker alongside the likes of Jordan Love, providing that explosive element that can stretch defenses and open up the field. His return could be a game-changer, especially as the team looks to find consistency on offense. Remember, Watson is a second-round pick from 2022, and many fans had high hopes for him this season. His absence has been felt, especially in moments where the Packers needed that extra juice on offense. If he is activated, the Packers will have 21 days to decide whether to add him fully to the roster or to keep him on the PUP list for the season. That window is crucial for Green Bay's offensive plans moving forward. In addition to Watson, the team has other players who could return soon, like running back Marshawn Lloyd and guard center Jacob Monk. Both started the season on injured reserve, and their potential return adds depth and options for the coaching staff as they try to piece together a cohesive offensive line and backfield. And it's not just about filling spots. It's about restoring stability to an offensive line that has been battered by injuries early in the season. The Packers have struggled at times to protect Jordan Love, and the absence of their starters has been felt in the overall effectiveness of their offense. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. The Packers are sitting at 2-1-1 after 4 weeks, a decent record, but one that leaves room for growth. Their defense has been solid, and Jordan Love has shown flashes of his potential, but the offense, particularly the offensive line, has faced challenges. The injuries have tested the depth of their roster, and the decision to release Banks might seem minor but is actually quite telling. It's a sign that the team is carefully managing its assets, trying to give their key players every chance to recover and perform at their best. The bye week comes at a perfect time for them, a chance to regroup, heal, and prepare for a tough stretch of games ahead. Looking ahead, the matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals on October 12 will be critical. The Bengals are 2-2 and are known for having a potent offense led by Joe Burrow, who can be a handful for any defense. For the Packers, getting their offensive line in shape, possibly with Watson's return, will be crucial to contain Burrow and keep the offense moving efficiently. The hope is that by then, more of their injured players will be back on the field, creating a more balanced and dynamic attack. And speaking of injuries, it's worth noting how the Packers have been hit early in the season. The absence of Aaron Banks, Zach Tom, and Anthony Belton has left gaps that backups like Jordan Morgan and Darian Kinnard have had to fill. Morgan played well at right tackle during the game against the Cowboys, which was a bright spot in an otherwise challenging night. But the fact that the team was willing to gamble on Banks, only to release him shortly after, suggests they're waiting for the right moment to get their full roster back in order. It's a strategic move, balancing short-term needs with long-term health. This roster management also reflects the bigger philosophy of the Packers under Matt Lafleur. They've always prioritized depth and versatility, ensuring that even when injuries strike, they can plug in players without a significant drop-off in performance. The potential return of Watson, Lloyd, and Monk could significantly impact their ability to compete in the NFC North and beyond. The division is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears also vying for supremacy. The Packers know that every game counts, and they're doing everything possible to put their best foot forward. From a historical perspective, Green Bay has always been a team that values resilience and strategic decision-making. Whether it was during the Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers eras, or in their current rebuild under Love, the organization has shown that they're willing to make tough calls to stay competitive. Releasing Banks after just a week might seem harsh, but it underscores their commitment to roster integrity and ensuring that their best players are on the field when it counts most. It also sets a tone for the team's approach: adaptability, resilience, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. For the fans, this news might stir a mix of emotions: hope for Watson's return, concern about the injuries, and curiosity about how the team will shape up in the coming weeks. But one thing is clear: the Green Bay Packers are not standing still. They're actively managing their roster, making strategic moves, and keeping their eyes on the prize. The next few weeks will be critical, not just for individual players like Watson, Lloyd, and Monk, but for the entire team's chemistry. The coaching staff will be watching closely, adjusting their game plans, and trying to get everyone on the same page. In the end, the story of Banks' release is just a small chapter in a much larger narrative, one of perseverance, strategic planning, and a relentless desire to return to the top of the NFC North and make a deep playoff run. The Packers have faced adversity before, and they've always found ways to adapt and thrive. With the potential return of key players and the ongoing development of Jordan Love, there's a lot of optimism around Lambeau Field. Fans should keep their eyes peeled for those updates on Watson, Lloyd, and Monk, because those could be the pieces that turn their season around. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. The team is always evolving, and every piece of the puzzle is crucial in their quest for another Super Bowl appearance. So keep supporting, keep believing, and let's see what the future holds for this resilient and proud franchise.